This is the first of this live stream. Yeah, I need to do all the things again. Let me know if that audio is better. I changed it to mono, and mono should work. So I hope. Perfect. Wonderful, says Josh Sperry. All right. So, hey, guys, this is my morning stream, 8:30 to 10 in the morning, Monday through Friday. I'm excited about this because, I mean, it essentially keeps me honest creating the podcast. So you guys get to see my own process and understand the, just kind of what goes into this. So, cool. I'm going to make the First Pitch podcast now. This is how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see everything that I do. Display capture, yes. Cool. That is the wrong display. That is the right display. And then I'm going to put myself over it. It's all right. Just got to shrink myself down. That's moving. That's not shrinking, Nick. There we go. Hey, goodbye. All right. So, yes, I use RotoWorld, okay? So what I'm going to be doing is essentially taking, just going over the news really quickly. Oh, man, look, this is all distorted now. It's fine. Actually, you know what? Let me do it from here. This is probably smoother for you guys. I'm going to go through and I have a little notepad that I take, and it's just basic notes of what's going on inside of RotoWorld. That I'm going to be reading off of this notepad as I do the First Pitch podcast. So it's going to be a moment of me being quiet as I focus on this stuff. But I mean, this is the real process, right? I generally wake up, put on a little bit of makeup. Now I essentially just said to RotoWorld, make sure I get the news there, double check things on Reddit, Twitter really quickly. Make sure there isn't anything outstanding. I go to our Discord's Twitter news to make sure I haven't missed anything there. Then I get the batter's box sent to me from the writers. Then I have my SP roundup and I refer to that. And then I also look at the streams ahead and get that inside this little notepad. So that is what I'm going to be doing right now. Working out the kinks is right, Ben Brown. Oh, Tavernev with the Twitch Prime. Thanks, man. 3 months. Oh my God. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I realized that this stuff isn't on, is it? I should have these things on. That's all right. Okay. But yeah, thanks so much for the subscription, man. A big fan says KJ Mack. Oh, dude, you have an NL only auction on Wednesday. Lean towards cheap pitching. Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about the list at noon today. It's going to be a lot smoother than this one, I promise. But all right, I'm going to start just writing things down. I don't care about just general performance. Jesselman, don't care. Okay, I'm going to make a note about like the Dodgers rotation is still in flux. Julio Urias has the 4th spot. Okay, so it's just so annoying. AJ Pollock and David Price are AJ Pollock and AJ Price are dealing with an illness. Yeah. Mike Montgomery, no, don't care. Oh, guys, Mike Minor. I'm like, I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm excited that I know he's going to be better now. I don't know how much better. And after that Rangers start, I think he has 2 tough ones. I just updated that schedule stuff. You start with the feed. It's the second thing. I do RotoWorld first. I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure that is a full encompassing First Pitch podcast, you know? KJ, you can ask questions at any time, honestly. I am going to go through this process. Don't worry, but I don't mind being interrupted with it. I think it's kind of fun to have that given that flow to it. I mean, in many ways, this is kind of like I don't know, selfish with me. Like I enjoy doing things. It's like working with people, kind of, if that makes sense. Man, Dalton Jeffries, like, I think he's got it. Heated competition. I don't think it's Puck. I think it's Dalton Jeffries. All right, I'll put that in really quickly. He would get, and yes, I am going to reference my. I have it in here somewhere. There we go. The reason I did this, it's kind of funny. I feel really bad that I didn't update all of the text inside of this article. Oh man, I am so distorted. This is hilarious to me. Can I Control Z? There we go. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's not be distorted anymore. I feel bad that I didn't like update the text inside, but it was like one of those things I did not have the time. See, here's the problem with Dalton, is that he gets the Dodgers and Houston first. It is Detroit and Baltimore after. So, I mean, like, I'm trying to make decisions based on who is going to not only have a spot that I'm interested in, like Dalton Jeffries, but then also would be someone I want to start early on. And it might actually be important to note down someone like Jeffries, who we are interested in, but might struggle early, right? Like, let's say you draft Dalton Jeffries in your 12-teamer, and he goes against the Dodgers, and then he goes against the Astros and doesn't do well in either one, or you're just like, wait a second, I don't want to roster him for this. Like, is he enough for a stash? He's just a name that I heard a lot. And like, oh, I'm not starting for this. And he'll be dropped by that third start for Detroit or Baltimore. So to me, that's like I need to kind of have an understanding of those guys that I'm going to be picking up and monitoring after the first week or two. So Jeffries is that, and I'm debating, like, is that list worthy or not? And I'm kind of on the outside of it. Are you seeing 3 there, Aaron? I'm seeing 2. Oh, I got you, because you're a Detroit Tigers fan. I got you, Aaron. Any update on Corbin's velocity? I actually asked the beat reporter yesterday, and I didn't get an answer, unfortunately. So I got nothing for you on that. I know I really just want it. I really just want to know that Corbin is above 90, and that's it. Hopefully I can get some answers. But anyway, okay. I'm going to be referring to this a lot, by the way, in the next couple days. Just want to, yeah. No, nothing. Okay, so just keep in mind, Tristan McKenzie. I feel like I should just note this stuff. I mean, I imagine it'd be helpful for like the podcast to use your noggin, Nick. Oh man. Oh yeah, allow this. Yeah, of course. Oh, I have like mod stuff that I gotta handle. Oh man, okay. I'm figuring it all out, guys. Scott White tweeted that he saw a video of him hitting 93. Did he see the video? Did did he give us the video? Did he just say that he saw a video? Like, why wouldn't you give us the video? So Tristan McKenzie is likely going to get skipped. The first passed. It's interesting they're having, I think, Logan Allen start instead. It's kind of annoying. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that's the. Oh my god. Between Joakim Soria. It's Joakim Soria, right? I have the guide. I'll look it up. Stefan Crichton. Oh man, it's such a helpful thing. I got the. Oh yeah, here is our wonderful Discord. That's stuff for going off later. Yeah, if you don't, I mean, our Discord's. Look at this. Oh my god, you guys are the best. Anything that I should... Oh, snap! That's awesome. All right, let's get that in here. Show you Ohtani is pitching and hitting. Yep, I want this. All right, we got that. Okay, this is great. Okay. I mean, there's surprisingly like so much. And oh yeah, you get to see my private channels. Crazy, I know. Actually, you know what? No, you don't. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Dan Vogelbach has made the Brewers. I just want to put that in because it's Dan Vogelbach. Yeah, Dan, you're doing a great job. You're helping me out with my podcast. You're the best. Right. I don't think that's major news. This isn't major news. This is... Right. This is... Yeah, so Logan Allen's a fourth, and then... Oh, yeah, this is the most frustrating thing ever. Okay. Jameson Tyler's going to get skipped the first time. We'll pitch. He's pitching the sixth game of the year. So don't be terrified. Eugenio Suarez. He is going to be the starter there. Or the shortstop. It's kind of crazy. And Matt Harvey. Yeah, I got to add that one. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, I think that's the article that really sent Trevor Rogers madness happening. Actually, can I do this? Let's see here. I want to have the chat box, but for some reason the chat box, no, it's not showing it right now. All right, I got to mess around with this some more. And I want to have your chat on the side. Alzolay won the spot. I hate that he did because he's not going to be anyone that you want to trust, and Alec Mills is way more secure against the Brewers and Pirates. So it's a little frustrating to me, honestly. I mean, Alzolay, yeah, Ben, you love it because Alzolay throws an incredible slider. And I mean, trust me, I like it too in that way. But as far as a fantasy play, it's not for me. All right. Fast is DMing me now, but he shouldn't do that. He should know better. All right. Yeah, okay, and I'll do this. Rodriguez has dead arm and may take a bit. His first start. Okay. Why did I come to the Discord in the first place? I don't remember. Welcome to my life. I just get distracted and move away from things and so on and so forth. I think that's it though. All right. If you guys remember that's great. We're not at odds. Okay. Oh, right. Thank you. I want to find the pronunciation guide. Cuz I don't want to mess up anymore, you know? Shocking. Where are you? Okay. I want to put that into podcast stuff so I can always have it. Look at this wonderful thing. All right, so Diamondbacks. Joaquim Soria, okay? And Steven Crichton. Stefan Crichton, okay. Look at it's amazing. Every single team pronunciation guide. It's pretty awesome. Why did I open Discord? Me every 5 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty true. Just to put a pineapple. That's right, Sperry. All right. So just keep in mind, guys, in season, I have this down to like a T. I generally actually use the app on my phone. Instead, and also like news is a lot less, I don't know, nebulous. There's a lot more subjectivity, I think, right now, but what is news or not. But I just want to. I mean, I think Dan did a great job. In general, I want to make sure that like injury news, I don't really care about this. Don't care about this. Don't care about that. This is important. All right. I mean, essentially, like the First Pitch podcast right now is just news. You know? There's not much else for me to talk about. So, I mean, what would you guys want me to add inside this podcast that isn't just, this is the news? That's kind of all I can think of at the moment. Doesn't really look like there's much else I should talk about. Yeah, George Springer's okay. Took swings off a tee. Likely missing opening day. Fire the Randall Grichuk machine. Wait, no. Spotlight? What is it? You fire? What do you fire as like an alert? Light the Randall Grichuk beacons? Sure. Flare. Fire the flare. There you go, fast. Yeah, 6 o'clock fast. Should have known better. Where did you pick up that pronunciation guide? I got it from Baseball Pods. Hey, what's up, Jim? Good to have you, man. If you want, I'll send it to you. I'll DM you. It's a flare. Fire the flares. Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, you were DMing me, like during it. Like, come on. All right. Hey Nick, in a best ball league, what pitchers on the list would you give a boost to? I would. You gotta understand the list is crafted not in a best ball league. It's the whole thing is like an expression of my strategy for the top 40 are like your secure guys, and then or 42. I think today will be 41 because I have to remove like Carrasco. But then after that, it's like right after in the 40s and 50s are the exciting ones, and I would certainly push up some of the guys in the 60s, like Keuchel, for example, that are like Zach Davies or whatever the guys I think are going to go longer. Like essentially, Toby's get more favor in best ball. So yeah, it's best ball is a weird animal. I'm actually going to have a best ball ranking on Wednesday for Fantasy Pros because that's essentially what Fantasy Pros expert rankings is a best ball. So I gotta create a best ball ranking, I guess. But yeah, it's I wouldn't treat the list in like its top 40 much different. Because it is me really being like, these are my favorite guys. And I'm wanting to get guys that I trust through the year. The biggest tip I have for best ball, though, and I think actually, Yancey, you've given it to me, is really, well, it's two things. One, you want to have around 17 starters or so. But two, the major thing is you want guys that are still playing. You know, like the hardest part is having a roster actually like full in August and September. So I like to think that leans itself more towards your Tobys and you guys you just know that will not be replaced in the rotation, all that kind of stuff. Like if you go and take an upside guy, say like Alzolay or something in a best ball and like he doesn't start, it's just like, what? It's just a wasted play, you know? Yeah, exactly, Ants. So I gotta make an addition just for that. Which I haven't done in the past. All the previous years were like just me It was just my list, and I just like lazily put it up. I'm like, wait a second, Nick, you should create a best ball ranking this year. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. NL keeper, who are some guys who can make big moves up the list the next 2 years? That's a very good question. Really, anyone that we're getting like a little bit hyped on, honestly, we're pushing down this year because they don't have the innings, you know. I think that's the case. Like I've talked about like Max Fried and Ian Anderson as guys I think will develop. Like Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, and Sixto should all be improving. Guys like that. I'm going to continue here. Recovering from an oblique injury. Yeah, the George Springer news is just so sad because he should be an absolute fantasy beast. But it's just not happening right now. Oh man, Ketel Marte and Eduardo Escobar are both ill as well. Did they hang out with David Price and AJ Pollock? Ketel Marte, Eduardo Escobar. Are they like different ones though? Isn't Boston and Florida? I don't remember. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to take this podcast to... I have my news. I think the news is kind of all set. And then I'm literally going to go through the schedule article that I wrote and just kind of talk about the schedule. I feel like that's the most effective thing because that was like... I essentially updated that through the day yesterday too. Wait, get out of here. Right, Robbie Ray's in that rotation. Right, I already replaced that. No, I didn't. What's wrong with Robbie Ray? An elbow? Oh, right. He fell down a flight of stairs because helping out with his baby, right? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. What's wrong with Robbie Ray? How long it got? That's funny. Take the podcast to the moon. Oh man. Anyway, before I go into that, I think I'm just gonna do the news that I have here. And then I'm going to go through the rotations. I am going to update really quickly this this table for everybody. All right. Okay. So the process that I do, for those that are wondering about like how do I do the podcast in the morning and stuff? It's very, very straightforward. I have this wonderful program. You might have heard of it. It's called Audacity. Ta-da. And I take my lovely notes. This is what I have right now. I'm going to be... Normally, it's like separated out into like more things like you have over here. You know, I just like space it out first news, then X, Y, and Z. Sometimes these are like super long, and that's when Fast yells at me. But I essentially just read it off from there. Yes, I will be making tons of mistakes during these live streams, and I've accepted that as my fate. But yeah, you'll see that, and then essentially I put it all into Audacity. But I'm recording straight into Audacity. And unfortunately, I can do both at the same time, which is really, really cool. So we are going to do that now. I'm going to get this up over here. And I'm going to be very loose on this podcast, and I think everyone's going to be fine with that as I just go through every single team talking about. So I'm going to get rid of actually any notes inside of the news that are rotation stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's just cool. Yeah. Oh, you know what I should do? I should 100% do this. Okay, this is only for the next couple days. But I have, of course, my tweet I put out every morning. So you guys are going to be here really quickly. As I create the morning tweet for starting pitchers to watch today. And why wouldn't I want that for the First Pitch podcast? That makes perfect sense. So, Zach Eflin. This is how I do it. This is MLB's probable pitchers. And they just showcase what is on TV and what is not. It's incredibly easy. We care about Ian Anderson, Zach Eflin, Tanner Hawks. Sadly not, because he's not in the rotation, so I don't really care right now. Domingo, Caleb Smith, Zach Davies, Strasburg. Hey, Strasburg's pitching. Sweet. Odorizzi. Oh, I'm so torn on Odorizzi right now. Oh my lord, that is a name I have not heard in a long time. Brandon Finnegan. Man. Whew. Julio Urias. Adrian Hauser. I'll throw in some Jordan Lyles. Okay. Cool. Was Zach Eflin? We're going to be looking at the curveball. We want at least 15% usage. Ian Anderson, avoid deep counts. Essentially, Ian Anderson's problem is that he nibbles too much. Domingo's is I just want to see a good curveball. Caleb Smith, is he throwing at least 92? Davies, changeup working. Strasburg. I want to know how long is he going into the game, and is he just fine? Everything okay? With Odorizzi, how deep does he go? How long does he go? I'm not gonna. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Same with Urias, really. How's the new breaker? Hauser, good fastball, and good curveball for Lyles. I'm slightly over on the tweet. Good new breaker for Urias, fastball. Cool. I'm going to schedule that out for a little bit later. Today is March 29th. Okay. Yep, this is what this live stream is right now. Cool. Scheduled that out, and I have it now for this. Okay. Beautiful. Loose Nick. Yeah. Thanks, Jans. Thanks for comment. By the way, I'm supposed to say this. You should follow, of course, this Twitch so that you can get notifications when I'm live and stuff like that. If you want to subscribe to it, but you should be subscribing to PL Plus if you haven't already. If you have Twitch Prime, it's a free thing. So you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch subscription. I know everyone that uses Twitch has heard that 20 million times, but if you're new to Twitch, you might have a free subscription and help me out as we do this. And I'll in the future get the thing that pops up that says you are following or subscribing. But yeah, if you're not on PL Plus, you should, you dingus. That's just what we say. But it's really fun and amazing, and you support what we do. Okay. I am going to start recording this now. So, yes, I'm going to ignore the chat. I have to. I can't. I got to focus. And you'll notice that when I do them, I gesticulate a lot. I think it's really, really important to, I feel like the energy you emit with your body goes out in the voice and you can hear it better. Whew, I'm still tired. My God, this is going to be... It's going to be a process, okay? Justin Paradis last night called it stretching out, like a pitcher. I'm currently at 3 innings a start. And I need to get, the routine of my sleep and everything so that I can do the full 6 or 7. Okay. Ignore the chat, and the chat will ignore you, Yance. You know what? I didn't say I was starting it quite yet. But, okay. Let's do this. All right, a quick test. How's everything sounding? Looking good. It is taking from the right thing. Let's take a listen. Quick test. How's everything sounding? Looking good. Good. Okay. Always do a check. I've done too many where I had the wrong mic on or something like that, and it just killed me. All right. Here we go. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'll be back in 15 minutes if I'm lucky. Time for chat to declare independence. Okay, here we go. What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is March 29th, and we are going to talk about baseball. I have waited 6 months to be able to say that again and not in jest, because I am doing this every single Monday through Friday until the end of the baseball season. Welcome back. Baseball is in the air. We are 3 days away from opening day. Can't wait. I can't wait. And guess what? Right now, I'm actually doing this live on Twitch. Yes, twitch.tv/pitcherlist. I will be showing this, live streaming me recording this exact podcast every morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. I'll also be doing my SP Streamer articles when those are, in season. So I'll be starting on Thursday, of course. I'm also doing a couple other streams at noon on Monday and on Thursday. On Monday, it's the list, so you guys can see me create the list. So I'll actually be doing that in about 3 hours from now, if you are watching right now live on Twitch. And also on Thursdays, I will be doing a pitcher breakdown for 2 hours from 12 to 2, where I just break down a pitcher that you want me to. We talk about, say, Luke Weaver's recent start or whoever you want. We watch it together and we break it down. So definitely go to twitch.tv/pitcherlist if you haven't already. And I hope to see you there through the season. That's 7 streams a week I'll be doing. So hope to see you often. But look, we have baseball to talk about, and we have news. And today, how this is going to work, and I think the next couple of days, is that, yes, I'm going to have your general news about lineups and injuries and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to try as best as I can to talk about the expected schedules ahead. And I actually just updated my my massive article that has tables for every expected rotation and who they're facing the first 4 passes of the rotation. So today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the news as we normally do. I'm going to talk about the starters to watch on TV today and what you should be looking for. And then, of course, going through that schedule and trying to plan out who might be interesting those first couple of weeks. So let's get to it. A.J. Pollock and David Price are dealing with an illness, and so are Ketel Marte and Eduardo Escobar. They were out of yesterday's games. Hopefully, they will be all right soon and okay for opening day. We'll talk about David Price later when we talk about the Dodgers rotation. Sticking with Arizona, Joakim Soria and Stefan Crichton are both battling for the closer job in Arizona. There's no clear play at the moment. Monitor that situation. If I had to guess, and this is a terrible thing, you should just ask Rick Graham, our reliever expert, but I would probably say that Soria might get the first stab at it, as he has a very historic resume for being a closer. Dave Roberts talked about Gavin Lux, and he said he might be an everyday player in 2021. It might be a very, very interesting flyer to be taking at the end of your drafts. Shohei Ohtani, guys, I'm telling you right now, I cannot get enough of Shohei Ohtani. And guess what? Today, he is going to be both hitting and pitching at Dodger Stadium. It's, oh man, all I want for Christmas is a full 162-game season from Shohei Ohtani. Speaking of closers, though, Karinchak, Wickren, and Emmanuel Clase in Cleveland are all in play for saves, it looks like. They said that they are going to get even workload this season, so it might mean a committee situation, obviously to the chagrin of all managers who drafted Karinchak. Going to the Yankees, Mike Tauchman is dealing with a right calf. He's been icing his right calf and shin after fouling a ball there earlier in the game yesterday. Monitor that. It's a little bit thinner, of course, in New York with Luke Voigt out probably for the first month of the season. So you might actually be able to get a lot of at-bats with Tauchman and definitely monitor that. Daniel Vogelbach has made the Brewers. I don't know if that's really something that we should be focusing on in 12-teamers, but hey, Vogelbach does have a ton of power. He might service you as a platoon bat here and there. Jazz Chisholm is very interesting. He is the starting second baseman for the Marlins. Definitely someone to consider for your middle infield spot in deeper leagues. Jameson Taillon and Albert Alzolay. You know what? I'll talk about those later on. Actually, I got ahead of myself. Eugenio Suarez looks to be the shortstop in Cincinnati, with Jonathan India at second base and Moustakas going to third. I think India might actually be the more interesting play, considering that Suarez was going in the 5th round anyway. And you might want to, you might be able to slide him into short. It might be very helpful having that flexibility now. But it actually more so might open up a third base spot, because I feel like third base are a lot of options. You or Urshela that you might have gotten as a util spot in the 15th round or so. And now he can be your starting third base and you have an open util. So really cool with Suarez. But Jonathan India has some intriguing upside. Actually just got him in TGFBI last night. And I feel you might want to be considering him. Don't forget about him. Look, the Reds actually have some good hitters in Castellanos and Suarez in there and Moustakas. And if India finds his way towards the top of that lineup somehow, there could be a lot of dividends for managers. You have Eduardo Rodriguez dealing with dead arm at the moment, and we might not be seeing him in the rotation for a little bit. The Cardinals have placed Kwon-Young Kim on the 10-day IL. Same with Miles Michaelis. Very annoying. He's dealing with a back injury. We like him as a Toby that we can buy into maybe early in the season, but we'll have to wait there. We'll talk about the Cardinals rotation later as well. And then lastly, we have George Springer dealing with his oblique injury. He took swings off of a tee. It's not really what you want. You want him to be taking maybe some at-bats at this point. If he's just swinging off a tee, it does feel like George Springer is going to be out for more than just the opening weekend. I hope I'm wrong, as he can be a top 5 outfielder in fantasy formats. Yes, I mean top 5 if he plays a full season. And fine, Matt Harvey is a number 2 starter in Orioles territory, which is hilarious. And I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. There may be a situation you want to start Matt Harvey. I'm not so blind to the idea that Matt Harvey has fixed things that he can maybe be. Look, just don't. It's like a 1% chance. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm going to move now to talking about those rotations as I go through that article from yesterday. If you want the full reference, go to pitchers.com, of course. Check out Analyzing Early 2021 Schedules with SP, which SPs benefit most is the URL. Updated, of course, to talk about the who has the best early matchups in April. The Diamondbacks, obviously Zach Gallen got removed, but it is interesting. It's Bumgarner, Kelly, Smith, Taylor Widener, and then Luke Weaver. The good news there is that Luke Weaver got pushed down to the 5. I was actually kind of thinking he might be the 2nd because he's the 5. Yes, he's going to get Coors, but then he's going to get the Reds as opposed to the Padres. And that might be a little bit better for him. Then it's Washington and then Atlanta. Generally, the Diamondbacks have not a great schedule early on. Smith is going to be 3rd against the Padres and Reds. Not something I would really chase. So those that are, I don't know, we've been kind of throwing around also Madison Bumgarner being an interesting choice, considering he might have increased velocity. It's the Padres and Coors first, and then it's the Athletics and Nationals. And I think right now, as a whole, I'm not touching the Diamondbacks in 12-teamers. It's just, we just got to wait. I think maybe like the end of April, we'll have a better idea of this. Maybe if Caleb Smith was looking so good against the Padres that I could consider him for that Washington start, I kind of don't want to touch the Reds. I think the Reds are really, really scary. They underperformed last year. And I think they can perform really, really well this year. All right, quick break. I gotta get water and coffee. Yes, I do edit podcasts. It's the only way to do it right. Okay. I'm saying hi to the chat. Plaid chat. Oh no. Oh, thanks, Jans. All right. Very historic resume. Oh man, this is fun. This is really cool. Okay. All right. Let's get back into this. I always keep a pause so I can find it later. Jumping to the Braves, it's pretty straightforward. It's Fried, Morton, Anderson, Smiley as we expected, but the fifth spot, well, they're not going to let Kyle Wright get that start, and it doesn't really look like Bryce Wilson. If it is, it's not going to be a proper start. They said really it's a bullpen game the fifth time through. I imagine it's a stall tactic to hope that Soroka can make it for the second pass. Honestly, I think this kind of puts us all at ease that we don't have to play the Bryce Wilson, Kyle Wright game at all. As far as Fried, Morton, Anderson, and Smiley go, they have generally favorable schedules. The first three are looking at the Phillies, Nationals, and Marlins for the most part. And I think, honestly, I wouldn't hesitate with any of them. Drew Smiley, Nationals, Phillies, I would take the chance. So we'll see how that goes. Moving to the Orioles, John Means is not as impressive right now in spring as I want him to be. And the fact that he gets the Red Sox and the Yankees early on makes me a little more hesitant to go off and get him. If you notice in the list, he's not in the top 40. And he's in that tier of like maybe upside plays and not sure things through the year. So I really want to emphasize that, I have had a lot of hype on Means, and I do believe over time, John Means will be a very solid play for you, but you might be in a hole early on against the Red Sox. Yes, I do believe the Red Sox are a very, very good offense. I have them in the second tier of offenses right now, but I might want to put them in the top tier, honestly. Kike Hernandez is looking great at the top of that lineup, too. Matt Harvey is second, Bruce Zimmerman, Dean Kramer, and Jorge Lopez. So no Keegan Aiken, which is, I think, the biggest news of this. Dean Kramer being fourth is actually the best news for this rotation, because it means the Yankees, Red Sox, yes, both. It doesn't matter where you were going to be, you would get that, but then you get the Rangers instead of the Mariners, and I think there is a shift there. I prefer facing the Rangers, which are maybe one of the, bottom three offenses this year. It's Joey Gallo and Joey Gallo. So Dean might actually monitor those first two starts and then see if you want to start me against the Rangers. Yes, I am going to go a little bit long on this one. I know it's not the OTC. I'm doing it anyway. I feel like this is so important for everybody right now. Let's go with the Red Sox. Eovaldi, Richards, Perez, Pivetta, and then they have that 5 spot for Eduardo Rodriguez. Eovaldi and Richards and Perez, they each have Baltimore to start the year. Eovaldi gets the Rays after, while Richards and Perez will get Baltimore a second time. Deeper leagues, definitely take note in Martin Perez. I know it sounds crazy. We actually tried to stream Perez last year and got burned that first weekend. Look, this is not the worst play. Something to consider, especially the opening weekend if you want to start on that Sunday. You might want to consider that against the Orioles. Eovaldi, they've already gotten asked, is that a streaming pick for opening day? Honestly, if there's anyone, probably. Most opening day starters are not available, nor do they have such a favorable matchup. This is likely going to be my number one streaming play. Well, we'll see. Maybe there's someone else that appears during this. Pivetta, no. It gets the Rays first, so just wait for Baltimore after. We have Kyle Hendricks, or Arrieta, Davies, Williams, and Alzolay in Chicago. Yes, no Alec Mills, which is killing me because I've been saying for months Alec Mills is going to get the Pirates twice, or Brewers plus Pirates, and now he's not even in the rotation. It's just why? It's frustrating. Anyway, Alzolay, though, you're thinking, man, a lot of upside. What an amazing breaking ball. And you're not wrong. He also has very, very violent mechanics that speak to inconsistency and a maddening time. Not to mention, I believe he's only thrown about like 8 or 9 innings this spring, so not stretched out anyway. I wouldn't go after it. Keep in mind, after those 2 Brewers starts, it is Atlanta, and by that would be by the time that he's stretched out, and I don't think that's going to be a good start. Trevor Williams could be actually very sneaky against his former team, the Pirates, in that second outing. Take a note of that. Davies against the Pirates twice, absolutely for that. Jake Arrieta, I have more hesitation with because it's Jake Arrieta, but not the worst play you can think of for 2 starts against the Pirates. Chicago White Sox, Giolito, Keuchel, Lynn, Cease, Rodon. Not any shock, honestly. This is pretty much what we expected, save for Kopech. I would feel comfortable with the top 3, obviously. Cease, not so much against the Angels, but then he would get Kansas City and Cleveland twice, which is really, really exciting. If he does fix that command on that first start, I'm waiting and seeing there. And Rodon, I'm certainly waiting to see if that slider is good enough first against Seattle before I would trust him against KCR. The Reds, so Sonny Gray is dealing with a back issue. So is Lorenzen. I don't think it's his back, but he's missing the first pass. So that means we have Jeff Hoffman and Jose De Leon at the end of this, which is so frustrating. Why? Because it's the Pirates. And the main thing I was about with Lorenzen was like, oh, Lorenzen has upside, and I want to start him for that first outing against the Pirates. Well, I'm not getting that now. Luis Castillo, Molly, and Miley are each getting the Cardinals. I'm obviously fine with Castillo and Molly. And honestly, Molly I might be raising him up because it's the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Giants, and Diamondbacks. That's a wonderful opening schedule. I think I'm cool with all of those, and I might be raising Molly just because of that. I didn't realize that as much as yesterday when I was doing this, it was a reconsideration. Hoffman and De Leon, I am not touching whatsoever. And Miley, yeah, it's been too long, man. I'm sorry. I don't trust you yet. But hey, if it's a good start against the Cardinals, you might want to get him against the Diamondbacks. Cleveland, Bieber, Plesac, Savali, Allen, and McKenzie. So obviously the first 3, you're just going to start them. I mean, it's not fair. It really isn't fair. They get the Tigers both times. I mean, what? Is that right? Okay, well, no, Bieber gets the Royals instead because I believe they're skipping. Yeah, it's 2 off days. So they're skipping Tristan McKenzie that in 5th start. So he's not going to start until maybe against the Chicago White Sox, which isn't what you want if you roster Tristan McKenzie. So that's 2 weeks you got to wait, which stinks. And then it's actually the Reds and Yankees. Not great. But actually it might be the Reds and then Chicago White Sox because of the skip. But anyway, Aaron Savali and Zach Plesac, it's like you are going to feel so good drafting them because they get the Tigers twice to start the year. Like, if you want to talk about early victory laps, this is it. So you get Savali, and he's just dominant for his first 2 because he gets the Tigers. Oh, man. Anyway, Logan Allen, probably the most interesting part of this. He gets the Royals first and then the White Sox likely. Actually, it might be the Tigers. I might like him for that Tigers start. Logan Allen, though, I think isn't enough. Actually might be Tristan McKenzie for that Tigers. I don't know how how Cleveland's going to do this. I don't really think there's enough to chase with Logan Allen for you to really consider. It's not to mention he might not even be fully stretched out. It could be like a Logan Allen, Cal Quantrill piggyback start. So don't touch that. Colorado Rockies, it's Marquez, Sensatella, John Gray, and Austin Gomber. They all get the Dodgers in Coors to start the year. Oh, boy. And then you have at the end of that Chichi Gonzalez, who's filling in for an injured, I can't remember who is injured right now. Kyle Freeland, thank you. I went, it's the Rockies, guys. It's really just the Marquez story. Do not chase the ERA and went from actually just really the ERA of Sensatella last year. Marquez, I mean, sure, he's going to host the Diamondbacks in Coors. I guess I'm okay with that. But it's the Dodgers in Coors and then the Diamondbacks in Coors, which is risky because it's still Coors. And then you go away to the Dodgers. You don't want to do that. Then you host the Mets in Coors. This is what you're getting if you draft German Marquez. It's pain. Do you want pain? I don't. I'd rather McBain. Way better. Detroit Tigers have Boyd, Teheran, Skubal as the third, Jose Urena as the fourth, and then Casey Mize the fifth. So there has been some hype about Mize recently, but it's the Twins and then the Astros and then Oakland. And I do not want to go with that. I feel like you can not draft Mize, let him go back to the wire. Now Skubal is more interesting because it is Cleveland twice on the other side of Plesac, and that may be worthwhile. I'm hesitant on Skubal. I think there's more development that needs to happen first. He might get the Pirates in his fourth start, though. It's Oakland and then the Pirates for third and fourth starts there. With Boyd, it looks like it's Cleveland, Minnesota, Houston, and then the Pirates. I hope that works for him. I'm actually a little bit more intrigued on Boyd concerning how cheap he's going in your draft. And I might consider it. I might, as your last pick. He's been looking pretty good in the spring. Whatever, opening day, let's have some fun. Start him against Cleveland and kind of see how it goes. But you might want to be sitting him against the Twins and Astros for that. Speaking of the Astros, you have Greinke, McCullers Jr., Javier Urquidy, and Brandon Bilak. Now they get the Oakland A's for the most part. That is McCullers, Javier, and Urquidy. They all get the A's twice to start the year. I'm a little hesitant across the board here. So, I mean, okay, McCullers, you're just going to start. Same with Greinke, you're just going to start him. That's great. Yes, they'll get cores in the fourth start. Unlucky, but whatever. Bilak is not someone to consider. Christian Javier, I think, needs to get stretched out more. I mean, he's already had stamina issues and everything, and I just don't want to go with that. With Urquidy, I don't know how much he is stretched out yet. I think I would start him, though, for all four of these games against the Mariners and then the Angels after. I think you're okay, but I think the first pass might be a little shaky for Urquidy. Kansas City Royals, Keller, Minor, Singer, Duffy in that order. And that's very significant to me because it's Danny Duffy was someone that was a very sneaky play, I think, against the Rangers. Is that the same against Cleveland? Yeah, it's okay. I think I'm okay with that too. But Mike Minor, I mean, I've been hyping him up a bit, and it's mainly because he costs like nothing at the end of your draft, and you can get a free good start against the Rangers. And essentially, after that start, you're going to assess it because it's not good after. It's the White Sox, it is the Jays, and it's the Rays. Those are three good offenses. Two I would actually call elite in the White Sox and the Blue Jays. I'd say second tier for the Rays. He might actually be in the middle tier. But essentially, you'll put him against the Rangers, right? You put Mike Minor out there. And then you can assess after that. Brad Keller, I think, same situation for the most part. Maybe gets the Angels instead of the Jays. There's a chance that Minor will get the Angels instead if they do skip the fifth spot, which would be Jacob Junis. Somebody to consider there. And Singer, well, yeah, you start him against the Rangers. Los Angeles Angels, they are six-man, as they should be. It's Bundy, Heaney, Cobb, Canning, Quintana, and Ohtani. They have some tough matchups. Let's say for Heaney, for example. I am not touching Heaney because it's the White Sox, and then it's the Jays, then it's the Twins, and then it's the Astros, and this is a guy that's already volatile. That's going to be so brutal. And I imagine in many scenarios in your 12-teamers, he'll be on the wire at the end of April. Like, I do not expect an ERA under 4.5 after those four starts. I just don't. It's going to be very, very rough. Same with Griffin Canning. It's the same four teams. White Sox, Jays, Twins, Astros. I just don't want to go through that. Now, Ohtani, though. Ohtani gets the Astros and then the Royals and then the Rangers twice. How wonderful is that? It's so great. So keep that in mind with the Angels. Dodgers, Kershaw, Bauer, Buehler, Urias, and then we don't know who the fifth one is. They're going between Price and Gonsolin and May. There's nothing solid there yet, and it's incredibly frustrating. Now, it does mean that Urias is going to go up on my list today because it looks like he does have the fourth spot, which I did not believe. I didn't think they're going to do. And then David Price said all these things about, I want to give them the opportunities and stuff. So fine. Now, it is Coors to start the year. It's not going to change how I feel about them. They do get the Padres for two starts so like Urias gets Coors, the Nationals, Padres, which is really frustrating. But honestly, I think you just these guys are too good. So I think you're okay. The Marlins are very interesting in that they're dope. Alcantara, Lopez, Eliezer Hernandez, Trevor Rogers, Sixto Sanchez. It is interesting to see that Sixto is the 5th there in that rotation. But for the most part, I mean, they do have some tough matchups. Like, for example, Pablo Lopez is going to get the Rays, Mets, Braves to start off, which isn't ideal. But I think for Alcantara, Lopez, and Sanchez, you just let them fly. With Rogers, it is the Cardinals, who I think are a little bit better than a lot of people are giving them credit to. And then the Mets. And it might be kind of tough the first 2 starts. I'm personally not taking the chance right away. I do think he can do well against the Giants in the 3rd and 4th start. But as far as like how I'm drafting Trevor Rogers, if I'm drafting Trevor Rogers, I'm accepting that I'm willing to stash him for 2 starts. And honestly, I might not want to do that. So keep that in mind there. Same goes for Eliezer Hernandez, I should say. It's the Rays and then the Mets and then Atlanta. So that's 3 starts you have to wait on before you get Baltimore for Eliezer. And I don't think I want to start him for any of those 3. Too risky. Milwaukee Brewers, Woodruff, Burns, Hauser, Brett Anderson, Freddie Peralta. Yes, no Josh Lindblom, which is maddening to me because, my God, like, why aren't you giving Josh Lindblom the chance? Like, he can go deep into games, Milwaukee. He has a strikeout rate that's very, very enticing. But fine, let's give Brett Anderson another chance again. Woodruff and Burns, you're just going to blindly start. Who cares? Adrian Hauser, unfortunately, gets the Twins. And then the Cardinals, you might want him for that 3rd start, though. Monitor how he's using his fastball and see if he's being effective with it. Brandon Anderson, we're just not going to talk about until that 3rd start against the Pirates. Maybe that's a Toby play. But Freddie Peralta is very, very fascinating. He gets 3 starts against the Cubs in his first 4. The new slider is filthy. It really, really is. I wouldn't be against picking him up. I do not expect him to go 5 innings in that first start against the Cubs. I'd be surprised if he had the stamina for it. So it might be a 1-start stash, but it could be like a Corbin Burns thing of last year. If you remember last year, Corbin Burns wasn't a full starter for a good while, like a good first 4 games or so. Something along those lines, and we didn't really know how many innings he was going to get. Freddie Peralta is someone I think I would stash that first start and see if he's going in the right direction. Twins, Maeda, Barrios, Pineda, J. Happ, Matt Shoemaker. They have such a wonderful schedule. It's not fair that Maeda gets the Brewers and then the Tigers. I mean, what? You have J.A. Happ, who's a very, very sneaky play right now. Gets the Tigers and then the Mariners. Yes, you should be targeting that first start against the Tigers. And Matt Shoemaker, also deeper league, gets the Tigers first. These are really good. Not to mention you have a great offense with the Twins behind you, so you can capitalize on that, kind of like how we did with Randy Dobnak in the beginning of the year last year. Michael Pineda, don't forget him in your drafts too. That's the Brewers and then Seattle to start the year. Now, after that, it is the Red Sox and the Angels and Oakland. It gets a little dicier for the Twins, but these are guys you should be targeting as the first 3 series are the Brewers, Tigers, and Mariners. The Mets, DeGrom, Stroman, Taijuan Walker, David Peterson, and Joey Lucchesi. Their schedule is kind of lax until they hit Coors, and that's the end of the 3rd rotation. David Peterson and Joey Lucchesi, very interesting. It is the Phillies and Miami, or actually Phillies twice for Lucchesi, Phillies, Miami for David Peterson. Think about this. Think about, do I need a start in an NL-only league? David Peterson is much better. I think that people are giving him credit. If you want to wait and just see how that Philly start goes, sure. He has a very good slider, and I think he can take advantage of that Miami team. While Joey Lucchesi is I don't love him overall, but he has showcased that he can have some strikeout upside and have some good starts. He may be able to be serviceable against the Phillies. I wouldn't take the risk in that first start. Taijuan Walker, yeah, it's fine. It's a Toby play to me in those first 3 starts. Yankees are going to be Cole, Kluber, Herman, Montgomery, then Cole for the 5th, and then Taillon for the 6th. I think it's a pretty smart play by the Yanks, trying to get more of Cole while trying to space out a little bit of Taillon and Kluber. The good news for Taillon is that will be against Baltimore, which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Jordan Montgomery also now being the 4th start against Baltimore, while Herman gets the Jays and then might get the Rays and then might get the Rays again. A little bit tougher for Herman. I am leaning towards Jordan Montgomery instead of Herman in my drafts because of it. Now, Kluber does get the Jays and then probably the Rays twice, maybe actually Jays again. It is a little rough to start the year. Corey Kluber is likely going to be, once again, a May 1st trade target that you should be getting. We're getting through it, guys. We're getting through it. I'm taking a quick break. I gotta drink more water. Lucchese for Gazy. I love that shirt. We do. We have a PitchCon coffee mug. It's a lovely one. I love this one. You guys should get it. Kyle Freeland, bad pick. Oh, Ben Brown. Thoughts on Tyone getting the very slow ramp up from the Yankees? I think it's the right thing to do. We ultimately expected 150 innings or so, right? They're being smart by delaying it, and also it's the Orioles, so I think it's totally fine. 5-toe, because it's 5-man rotation instead of 6-toe. Pushed up the list. I really do want Jeff Hoffman to be good, KJ Mack. I really do. I remember actually being hyped about him when I think it was him who had an amazing start against the Mets. And then so did John Gray. And it was kind of like, oh man, both these guys are incredibly interesting. But yeah, I'm sleeping on Solak. I'm not really sleeping on Solak. Like, okay, fine, it's Joey Gallo, and then what else? Asher. I mean, even like Solak needs to be something else. To me, like when I look at offenses, it's who are the elite bats, you know? For the most part, if it's just like a average hitting team, then like that's actually kind of below average, you know? Like you need to be an average hitter and then have the highs in there for it to be of note. So yeah, Solak is not like an elite hitter. Okay, I'm going to move on. Here we go. All right, Oakland Athletics now. So it's Bassett, Luzardo, Minaya, Montas, and possibly Dalton Jeffries. It looks like he's going to get the 5th rotation spot for Oakland. You have Houston and the Dodgers, and then Houston to start off for Oakland. And that's a big problem for me. Sean Minaya is going to have to deal with Houston twice to start the year. I don't want to start him for either one. It does to get better. It is the Tigers after that, which is good. But for someone like Minaya that is already having questionable ceiling and more of a Toby type, I just don't want to go after that. Same with Montas. Actually, sorry, not same for Montas. Montas I feel a little bit more confident with. But yeah, it's really same for Jeffries, who gets the Dodgers and Houston. And for me, I'm intrigued about Jeffries once he gets the Tigers and Baltimore after. But I don't really want to dive in right away and stash him for 2 weeks. Chris Bassett gets the Astros and Dodgers, and it's already another reason for me to say, like, yeah, I'm not going to take the chance on Bassett. Maybe after if he's on the wire, but because it is the Diamondbacks and Tigers, but I don't feel that's worth a stash. And Jesus Luzardo gets a short end of the stick, but obviously I'd still draft Luzardo and deal with that. Philadelphia Phillies get the Braves and Mets, and then Braves and then Mets. Oh, man, that is so rough. That is so rough. But the thing is, it's really just Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler that we care about. Yes, there's Zach Eflin, but then Zach Eflin, keep in mind, like we're already wondering if he's going to be throwing that curveball enough and being effective with it. It's the Braves twice and then the Mets. These are top 5 offenses, essentially. I am not starting Eflin for those 3. That is so risky to me. Matt Moore and Chase Anderson are at the end there. Like, do not care. Spencer Howard is someone definitely to be monitoring through the year for the Phillies. I know he has a little bit of a setback at the moment. But once he does get in his groove, I think Spencer Howard actually can be a very big surprise in the National League. Not Vince Velasquez, of course. No, definitely not. The Pirates have, oh my lord, it's Tyler Anderson, Chad Kuhl, Mitch Keller, JT Brubaker, and Will Crow. The only 2 we care about are Keller and Brubaker. Keller's gained the Cubs twice to start the year, which isn't so bad. I'd say the Cubs are kind of a middling offense at the moment. Good top half, terrible bottom half. It's Keller, I think, is a little bit underrated overall, but I don't know if I would be gung-ho about starting him against the Cubs on that first start. Probably just see how he is and then maybe start him for the second one. It is Padres after, but then it's Tigers, so that could be a very, very good first start. Same thing for Brubaker. For the most part, it is the Reds, but then it is Cubs, Brewers, Tigers, and that might be something a little bit quicker return for Brubaker. Nothing. I think we got to make sure we understand that Brubaker's ceiling isn't that high. So there is, it's a bit of a risky play, and I don't think I need to draft Brubaker, but I would consider him probably for that Brewers and Tigers starts. The Padres is Darvish, Snell. You're just going to start him. Oh my God, they have such a good schedule too. It's the Diamondbacks and Giants and Pirates. Lord. Musgrove gets Diamondbacks, Rangers, Pirates, and then Paddock and Morejon. Morejon might be very interesting if he's showcasing that split on the first start against the Giants. And if you see that, you might want to start him for that Rangers one. Would get the Dodgers after, so that would just be a stream, but nothing much more to report on the Padres. It is 5-man instead of 6, as Dennis Lamet is hurt. San Francisco Giants, Gausman, Cueto, Logan Webb, Desclafani, and Sanchez. Gausman does get the Mariners first, and that is nice. I think he's actually going to be like my biggest bust of the year, unfortunately. Like, if I had to say one, like, who's the Nick Pivetta to me, I think Gausman's going too high, which is, I know, really annoying, but he just doesn't have enough in the repertoire, I think. And we saw him succeed for too small of a sample. Cueto, no. Logan Webb's gotten a ton of hype, and the fact that he gets the Mariners and then Rocky Road, that is the Rockies inside of Oracle Park, and then the Marlins and Phillies. Yeah, I saw that changeup. It is dope. I think I might be in. I think you're gonna see him on the list here. Unfortunately for Tony Disco is that he gets the Padres, and same with Aaron Sanchez. And Aaron Sanchez is very interesting. If he's showing good things, I might start him in that back-to-back starts against the Miami Marlins, third and fourth start of the year. Don't rule out Aaron Sanchez. Same with Desclafani, I guess, but nothing to really do at the moment for your teams. Mariners, Marco Gonzalez, James Paxton, Chris Flexen, Justice Sheffield, and Yusei Kikuchi, followed by Justin Dunn. Paxton you should be aggressive on him. You want that start against the Giants. It is the Twins, Astros, Red Sox, unfortunately, after, and that's kind of the story here of the Mariners. Not great schedules. Gonzalez gets the Giants, Twins, Orioles, and Red Sox. I would start him against the Giants and Orioles, honestly. I don't think I trust Gonzalez against the Twins and Red Sox. Is that crazy? I don't think it is. He had such a good schedule last year, guys. Chris Flexen has gone to talk, but yeah, after the Giants, it's 3 bad matchups, just like Paxton. I wouldn't touch that. Justice Sheffield against the White Sox first. Same with Kikuchi and Dunn, so I wouldn't really be touching those. And the bad news, really, Kikuchi and Dunn, really, is that they both get the White Sox, Orioles, Dodgers, and Astros. So, yes, I would consider both of them for that start against the Orioles, but 3 out of your first 4 being against opponents that you really don't want to risk is very unfortunate. Keep them in mind, but that's why I'm not drafting any of those guys. St. Louis Cardinals, Flaherty, Wainwright, Martinez, Ponce de Leon, and John Gant. Yes, John Gant is the number 5 in St. Louis right now because of Kim and Michaelis both down. Alex Reyes, shocker, more at 11, not in the starting rotation. Daniel Ponce de Leon, though, does get the Marlins and then the Brewers. Bad news is that he didn't pitch well yesterday. So I'm not in on the Marlins, but if he does well there, that is by getting curveballs in the zone and then fastball staying up, get a lot of whiffs with that four-seamer, then all of a sudden I'm in for the Brewers. Wainwright can be kind of sneaky against the Reds, Brewers, Nationals twice. Carlos Martinez is going in and out. I would kind of wait after that Cincinnati start. And, of course, you're starting Flaherty. Regardless, almost there. We're almost there, guys. So close. Glasnow, Yarbrough, Archer, Michael Wacha, and Rich Hill for the Rays. It is Miami first 3 starts. So, Glasnow and Yarbrough and Archer. I might actually consider Archer in that first one. It's a little bit risky. You might want to consider that. But Wacha, poor guy. Increased velocity. We're kind of excited. Red Sox, Yankees, and Yankees. So no thank you. Same with Rich Hill with Red Sox first, but it is the Rangers in between that Yankee start for him. You might want to have a nice stream there. It's kind of interesting. You're going to have to jump in and out. I don't really want to go, get any of these guys in my draft. Say for Tyler Glasnow is very intriguing now with that slider. I'm buying in on that slider. I'm finding myself being like, yeah, all right, I'm comfortable drafting him in the 5th or 6th with Lance Lynn now. Yeah, that slider is just so good. It's like, that's the thing I've been talking about with Glasnow, is how he's going to get his strikes, and like, oh, now he has this one to also get no more strikes. It's not like the changeup from before. He threw it, I think he threw like 40% of the time in that last spring training start and had success with it, over 30% CSW. I mean, it was, Glasnow is, yeah, I'm kind of buying in again. I know, even though the innings won't be there. I can't help myself. Okay. Texas Rangers, Gibson, Arihara, Foltynewicz, Lyles, and Dunning. Arihara and Foltynewicz each gets the Royals. Same with Kyle Gibson to start the year. Kind of interesting. Not a great long-term schedule, but if you need something opening weekend, Kohei Arihara and Mike Foltynewicz are the 2 I'd choose there to take a chance maybe against the Royals. Dane Dunning gets the Jays, and then the Rays, and then the Orioles, and then the White Sox. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go for that. I would only start him against the Orioles with any sort of confidence. So not really touching that. Blue Jays, it's Ryu, Ross Stripling, Steven Matz, Roark, and then it looks like TJ Zoik right now replacing Robbie Ray, who fell down the stairs, protecting his child, I believe it was. So that's kind of disappointing because Ray's going to miss that Rangers start and then show up after pitching against the Yankees. It is the Royals after that, so you might be able to go in and out. It depends on your league. If Ray is getting drafted, then just let him get drafted. But if he's around on the wire for that third start against the Royals, definitely monitor that velocity and see how many strikes he gets against the Yankees. With Ryu, he gets the Yankees, the Rangers, Yankees, Royals. Doesn't really matter to me. Ross Stripling is kind of interesting right now, but it's 3 starts. Actually, really 4. I don't want to start Stripling against with the Yankees, Angels, Yankees, and Red Sox. So not touching that. Matz and Roark, I'm not touching them. And lastly, it's the Nationals, Scherzer, Corbin, Strasburg, John Lester, and Joe Ross. They have a very rough schedule. The opening series for the Nationals are the Mets, and then it's the Braves, and then the Dodgers. Ugh. Kind of tough, but honestly, if you draft Scherzer, Corbin, or Strasburg, you're starting them really regardless. Corbin, I feel so bad for, though. The Mets and then the Dodgers. We hope that the velocity is there. I still would be drafting him with confidence around the 30s or so, as he will get the volume, and I do believe that he will turn into the massive whiff guy that he was before. But there you go. That is the opening schedules, and if you want to watch guys today, you have Zach Eflin going. Obviously, watch the curveball usage. You have Ian Anderson. If you want him to avoid deep counts, Domingo Herman, see if he has a good curveball. Campbell Smith, hopefully he's hitting 92 today and sitting there. Zach Davies, want to make sure that that changeup is working. He's throwing it 35 to 40% of the time. Steven Strasburg, just make sure that everything is okay with his calf and everything. And see how far in the game he goes. Same goes with Jake Odorizzi, because Jake Odorizzi, yeah, he's not going to start right away. If you notice with the Astros, he wasn't there. It was Brendan Bilak. And Odorizzi is going to take a couple starts. So you hopefully want to see like 3-4 innings. That means probably just like 2 weeks he'll be in that rotation for the Astros. Shohei Ohtani is going again, hitting and pitching today, which is so great. Julio Urias gets a new breaker, and I want to see that in action, and hopefully he's going deep into that game. Adrian Hauser, the main thing with him is just about that fastball and make sure he's dominating with it. It wasn't last year, it was the previous year. And lastly, Jordan Lyles, I'm very curious if he has a good curveball and fastball combination. But man, this is the First Pitch podcast that's supposed to be 15 minutes long, and I made this one 40 minutes or so. I am so sorry. Not what it's going to be in the future. I felt like I needed to do one, especially the first one that was this longer one. But in the future, it's just going to be that news section. I'm not going to go through the schedules and everything like that. Thanks for coming back for another year. I'm excited for what's ahead. Remember, watch this stream on twitch.tv/pitcherlist in the morning, 8:30 to 10 o'clock every single Monday through Friday, now through the end of September. Get PL Plus, support what we do, all that fun stuff. But that's going to do it for today. So my name is Nick Pollock, and that is everything you need to know. Oh my God, I just did a 40-minute First Pitch podcast, guys. I legitimately just did that. I can't fast. Can I still do this, please? Are you still going to let me do this? All right. So now what happens? I'll go back to this. I'll show this to you guys. Hey, thank you, Harry. So actually, we're not done. I'm going to showcase, I'm going to get this up. Once it's up, then I'll end the stream, because I feel like you guys are kind of curious about this whole process. I'm going to share this now. I'll bring myself down to here so you can see what I do. This is Audacity. This is how I record it, and this is how I get it out. So if you remember this, I remember pausing here, so I gotta listen to it. And I think they can perform really, really well this year. Okay, that was when I took the break, and then here, you cut this out. Jumping to the Braves, there you go. Oh my God. Jumping to the Braves, man, that was 8 minutes. I literally did like 40 minutes of talking about teams. Jesus, and then probably the Rays twice, maybe actually Jays again. It is a little rough to start the year. Yeah. We're getting through it, guys. We're getting through it. There we go. Okay. Was it here? No, this is one with talking stuff.
Thoughts on Taiwan game, the very...
Yeah, that was that. Okay.
All right, Oakland Athletics now, so it's Bassett...
Yeah, this is too long of a
that
pause.
you should be getting. All right, Oakland Athletics now, so it's Oakland Athletics... that you should be getting. Oakland Athletics now, so it's Bassett Luzar...
Cool. And I think this is good. So I do a thing, and I kind of wanted to... I kind of wanted to show this today and not every day. But so inside of Audacity, everyone that does podcasts and stuff, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to play the desktop audio so you can hear it. And let's see if I can actually get it on this for you.
What is happening? Welcome
so this
to
is the
First Pitch
podcast, right?
Your morning podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today's March 29th.
So I want you to hear that because that's just kind of the straight audio. But what I do is I've made, going through these effects, what you can do inside of Audacity, you can select it all. You can go into chains and you can create edit chains. So you can actually make an order of different effects. And let me try to, let me see if I can make this super huge for you guys really quickly. So you can see the ones that I'm doing. This should be better. So this is my chain of things that I essentially do every single time. So I have a normalization, I have a compressor, then I EQ for bass and treble, and then I have a hard limiter to make sure it doesn't peak. And then I normalize again, and then I end it. It's really not much at all as far as how many chains you can add to it. But I have this. I call it fat audio, which you can't see now. But let me try to make this small again. Anyway, yes, the room is up there. Yep, I have the room because it's the best. Okay, so okay, I have that edited. Now I apply this chain, and now I just kind of sit back, apply to current project, and I just kind of wait. This is going to take a moment. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare uploading this to Omni Studio. I used to do an article on the site too, and I think I'm just not going to do that anymore. I feel like we have too many articles on the site, and like I don't want there to be an article and push it out of the way. I feel like it's just not it's not you guys need other stuff. Okay, cool. Actually, that was absurdly quick. That's way quicker than it normally is. All right, I'm not complaining. That's good. I'm going to go into First Pitch Podcast, and this is actually the first one where I'm uploading with this. So the other thing I got to do is I have to bring in the lovely theme, the First Pitch Podcast intro and outro. So bring that in. Oh yeah, there's a certain part I remember that oh my God, it's been so long. It's been ages. What was it?
Here's your host, Nick Pollock.
Okay, so it's this line here. I'm gonna essentially line it up with. So go like that.
Host, Nick Pollock.
What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today's March 29th, and
So you guys could probably hear there what the effect is of of the chains I added, right? You can actually, I'm fine doing this really quickly so you can hear it.
What is happening? Welcome to the First
No
Pitch Podcast,
compression.
your morning podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock today.
Right? And then I add all the stuff.
What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitcherlist.com. My name is Nick Pollock.
It's just it adds so much to it. It just doesn't sound, I don't know. Sounds like more professional to me. Essentially just tack it on to the end here. Nothing too fancy here.
That is everything you need to know.
Ta-da! There is a First Pitch podcast. Okay, so now I have to export this. Oh yeah, I haven't done one yet for this year. So, this is March. No, this is 32921. I have to save this as the new thing in. Oh yeah, so in Audacity, what you can do, you can edit meta tags. You can actually create a template. So like I have one for First Pitch podcast now. So like you load it up. Like let's say I change stuff up, whatever. I have this, blah, blah, blah. I can actually open a template. So like here's my Nick Pollock and Friends one. First Pitch podcast. I think it's a pretty cool thing. Just again makes the process quicker. Now this is annoying because I don't have a template for First Pitch podcast yet. Actually, I guess I do. Cool. I have it from last year. So I am going to upload a new. Oh, what was that? Oh, you gifted a sub, Kyle, man. That's awesome. You're the best. Tier 1 sub. Oh man, thank you. Yeah, you're fantastic. All right, so let's do this. Omni Studio, by the way, is what we use. I'm not really showing you guys that because I feel I don't want to. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, this is all right. I'm fine with this. Like, this is Omni Studio. Hey, what's up? It is really, really powerful and super, super cool. If you notice, this is our new. Yeah, these are all of the programs that we have. But it does everything like super, super, super well. And I'm fine showing this because there are no numbers for the First Pitch podcast because no one's like subbed to it. There hasn't been an episode since we moved to it. And I realize I'm giant over here and you can't see this, but it's a really, really cool hosting service for podcasting. If you are trying to get into it, you don't want Omni Studio. Omni Studio is really for two things. One, if you have like a ton of listens a month, because essentially we have to pay based on it. Or if you want to have a ton of shows, which we do have now, we have the whole podcast network. Essentially, we can upload new shows for free. And normally, like other places, that each cost like $20, $30, something like that a month. And we get to do it for free, which is really cool because it's Omni Studio. So I think this is done. Yeah, this is done. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to upload to playlist. Let's get this in. That's it. Oh my God. All right. It's going to be called this. Good. So I have the thing that I copy and paste. This is just going to stick around. Get rid of that. All right, cool. This will automatically be added to that. No episode number. Make it public right away. I have to individually upload this. Oh yeah, we have a new talking pitching thing. I gotta get that. I gotta get the first pitch. Here it is. Cool. The reason I have to re-upload it is because when it gets added to the main feed, this is going to then push out the fantasy baseball artwork, and I wanted to use this artwork instead. But this is pretty much it. That's going to be the live stream today. Hey, 10:05, because I went 40 minutes on starters. Oh man, is this going to be like 8:30 to 10:30? No, I can do this quicker than that, right? The SP rankings are going to be updated today. Actually, you can come back here at noon. I'm going to be doing another stream that I do every Monday, updating the list. So if you want to scumbag a Matt, come back at noon, and I'll be essentially going through the list until 2, and then it'll be out around 3. As I will have to make notes and everything on it too. And we are done. We're done with this. So there you go. That's me publishing a podcast. First pitch, 39 minutes. Jesus, I'm sorry fast. It's the only one. It's the only one that's going to be that long, I promise. But anyway, all right, that's gonna do it for the first morning stream. Thanks for being here. I look forward to this a lot. I'm very much looking forward to being in a routine with you guys and like waking up with y'all and all that kind of thing. I think it's gonna be really fun. And yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions during it. I mean, that's kind of the fun of it. Actually, I think what I used to do with the First Pitch podcast was take a question and then add it to the end of the podcast. And I'll be taking it from this Twitch stream. So getting to see how the pitch sausage gets made. Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be every morning now. You guys kind of know the process. I'll be doing this every morning. So thanks for being a part of it. I'll be back here at noon today. And of course, tomorrow morning at 8:30 as well. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.